The GT 1030. You know, even though I don't remember those times, I do know that that was a crazy card. Nvidia's only, like, budget card. Like, $70 MSRP. Absolutely crazy. How long ago was that released? Oh. 2017. Oh. Well, $70 MSRP, that is not bad though. I think I have one laying around. It's not back here. Nope, not in that box. I doubt it's in these bags. Nope. Drawer? Nope. Oh! There it is! My GT 1030. Other than it sounding like a sports car, I think this thing has potential. Let's put in a modern day PC. So if you're wondering what the specs of the PC we're putting this in, this is a Ryzen 5 5500. Not only is it a Ryzen 5 5500, it is also, we have the side panel off. My computer, well, basically, what I'm trying to say is, the GT 1030 will definitely be a bottleneck. So in order to switch out the GPU, you just, nope, you turn it off first. Crazy person. You have to shut down the computer. Anywho, while it's shutting down, let's do a segue to our sponsor, Beehive. Beehive's the all-in-one newsletter platform for your personal use or business. Click on the first link in the description to learn more, or finish watching this video. It will be at the end. Okay, now that the computer's off, I'm going to flip this switch back here, unplug the power cord, bring it all the way forward. I'm going to give it another second just so all the electricity dissipates, but while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pork my little screwdriver into the hole. Don't worry, buddy, you're free. You can just go over there. Take the sun in. You know, you haven't been really to sun. And now we're going to put in our GT 1030. And it just slides in here. And, oops. My PC slidey. Ooh. Okay, it's in. It's so small that I can't screw it in. So it just has this sag, which is kind of concerning. No one has to tell me why it actually won't screw in. I know the GPU bracket is off of it. That's how I got it, I promise, okay? Don't yell at me for it. Let's fire it up. I'm gonna plug in the HDMI. Yes, I'm using HDMI as my main monitor. Sue me if you want. So hopefully this works. Is the fan spinning? I can't see. It looks like the fan's spinning. That's a good sign. Oh. Oh, let's go. Yay. The GT 1030 does work. Yay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to plug in my capture card to my laptop, and we're going to record some benchmarks. Yes, it works. Wow. Okay, I'm going to install some drivers, and then let's get benchmarking. So the reason why the footage is going to be a bit lower quality than expected is actually because after a very long time of troubleshooting, pretty much I couldn't get anything to work. The capture card, when I plugged the DisplayPort cable into my GPU, it would not show up. It just wouldn't show up. But, like, if I plugged my second monitor into the GPU with the DisplayPort, it would make an output. So I don't know if it was the capture card, the laptop, or the, you know, something. Not 100% sure, but it would not work. So you're going to have a little bit crappy footage. And it's not, I actually recorded it on the camera. So anywho, back to the video. So something I want to point out while like the demo test is going on, like the warm-up or whatever, the GPU is at 100% usage. So there's 100% a GPU bottleneck here. I don't know why I can't see the CPU usage, but there's 100% a GPU bottleneck here. Oh, here we go. This is the graphics test 1. So there's 100% a CPU bottleneck here, but after we go through all these tests and after I play a game of, yeah, it seems, I mean, it's not doing that bad. 30 frames per second? There's no telling what my 1660 Super could get, especially since this is a test for integrated graphics, but 30 frames per second is definitely playable. Like, if this was a game, this seems playable. Okay, here we go. This is the results. So, we got an 8,361 score on Night Raid. My graphics score was 6,937, and my CPU score was just 12,000. And if we look at, where is it? Okay. So, GPU test 1, GPU test 2. The GPU, GT 1030, stayed decently cool the whole time, hitting a peak of, here, let's check MSI Afterburner. The GPU only hit a peak of about 52 degrees Celsius, which isn't that bad for being under 100% load. So that's not that bad. Again, with only 2 gigabytes of VRAM, I believe, or that's the max that it would use, that's still pretty bad, but hey, I game on a card with 6 gigabytes of VRAM. I'm talking to you, 1660 Super. And it works perfectly fine for me. Now I'm going to... maybe we can download a game for the first time. What game is the most GPU intensive? After a very short thought about decision, we were playing Rainbow Six Siege because it was the only thing I had downloaded, and I just, it seems fine to get a good stable benchmark. Pretty much I just yapped for 30 minutes. However, on 1080p low settings, I remember getting around 30 FPS. It stuck at 24 for most of it, but it was like 30 FPS, which honestly isn't bad. 30 FPS, 1080p low was definitely playable. However, when we pushed up the settings a little bit, downgraded the settings a little bit to 720p, we were able to get a stable 60 FPS, and that was also on 720p low or medium. It was actually 720p medium. So if you want a better looking game, you can do medium settings, but if you want more frame rate, you do 720p on low. But honestly, it was playable, and I think I said that a couple times. Even with 30 FPS, this game was playable, and I'm used to over 300 FPS with my 1660 Super just playing this game. So, I mean, honestly, I really did not notice that much of a difference. So I guess I can play any game at 30 FPS. Now, so GPU from 9 years ago, almost 10, is performing decently in 720p. Now, I'm going to take it over to Grant, the PC builder, and he will build a parts list for $500 dues using the GT 1030. Used is allowed, just get the average used price, not the full used price. Okay. So this parts list is going to be nice and quick. My budget goal was 500. We went a little bit over that with 530. But if you bought the 1030 used, you could probably get it under 500. I bet if you bought a lot of these parts used, you could get it under maybe even 400, especially the RAM. But yeah, this is going to be all new because that's the easiest for me to do. So, obviously for the GPU, we're going with a GeForce GT 1030, 2 gigabytes of GDDR5. Make sure you get the GDDR5 version instead of the DDR4 or whatever. And for this specific one, we are going with the Asus model of this because it was the cheapest one available on Amazon. And then for the motherboard, we're going with a Gigabyte B550 MK AM4 DDR4 micro ATX motherboard. For the CPU, we're going with the Ryzen 5 5500, which is the exact same one I have in my PC now. Honestly, 6 cores, 12 threads is amazing. This CPU is the best budget CPU on the market. Not even just on AM4, it is the best budget CPU on the market, period. For RAM, we're going with two sticks of 8 GB RAM, leading up to 16 GB, 3200 megahertz. It's a Patriot RAM, something. Happy 4th of July. For the storage, we're going with a TimeTech 512 GB M.2 SSD, PCIe 3.0 NVMe. For the power supply, we're going with a Thermal Lake ATX 500 watt non-module power supply. And for the case, we're going with the Oknos Aqua 3 Micro ATX Mini Tower Black Tempered Glass Side Panel. This is all new. You could probably get maybe a better CPU if you really wanted to go with the GT 1030. I've heard that going with the GT 1050 Ti, I think it is, would be a better choice. You would get better performance. However, this is for the GT 1030, so we're just going to ignore the other one. If this video gets 10 likes, I will get a GT 1050 Ti or whatever card I'm trying to think of, and I will test those side by side and see which one's better bang for your buck. Thank you everyone for watching, and I guess I'll see y'all in the next one. This is my first more PC building type video instead of just giving y'all a parts list to do, and I really enjoyed doing this one, so hopefully we can do more projects like this in the future. Yeah, bye bye. Honestly, I don't want to have to explain this whole thing. Pretty much, I tried to plug in the capture card, and said capture card wouldn't plug in to DisplayPort for some reason. Fireworks. Good God. Okay, there was just gonna keep. Okay. Are you done yet? No. Okay. Holy moly. Is that it? I forgot what I was saying.